so straight.
Thousands of angry rioters took to the streets in several cities this evening after viewing controversial... The riots appears to show scientists performing crude, torture-like experiments on teams of augmented super soldiers. Re-establishing security system. See you soon, Mr. Jensen. At all times, we invite others.
Stay calm, and no one will get hurt.
Come on, brother, let me go.
Sorry, but we've diverted all the trams. There are no more coming to this station.
But how am I supposed to get home?
Best thing to do is get outside the downtown area and catch a tram there.
But it's dangerous out there. The rioters are breaking windows and looting.
Can you at least tell us what lines are operating so we know what station to go to?
I'll try to find out for you. Unless this is an emergency, I suggest you keep moving. Go home, sir. You can't help here.
God, they should call in the National Guard or something. This is a state of emergency. This is a state of emergency.
I don't know how it happened. One second it was a peaceful demonstration near the limb clinic. The next, people are running towards Sarif Plaza grabbing anything they could. This is another black eye for our city.
Downtown is a war zone. The cops are doing what they can, but the precinct station is closed.
How can any sane people do this? They're out of control. I've never witnessed a mob before.
I blame this all on that bastard Taggart. Who the hell plans a firebrand speech like that in this city when we all know it's ready to blow? If I didn't know any better, I'd swear this is what he had planned.
There are massive riots going on. Apparently David Seraph is building some sort of super army.
Jensen, pal, you shouldn't be out here. How'd you get out of that Seraph building anyway? There's no foot access to that place. It's sealed off. You'd have to fly in or something. Just get off the streets if you can, buddy. They'll tear you apart if they get the chance. If I didn't know any better, I'd swear this is what he had planned.
Were there any witnesses?
Yeah, but they refused to stick around to wait for you guys. They were scared for their safety. Maybe if you had come sooner.
I'm sorry, ma'am, but most of the squad has been assigned to subdue the rioters.
It seems like all I'm hearing from police these days are sorries.
Do you have anything else to report, ma'am?
No, thank you. I'm fine. I'm gonna wait for my sister to come pick me up. Meanwhile, I'll lament about the end of the civilized world as we know it.
What is it, sir? There's a riot raging and I'm in the middle of taking this lady's statement. Unless there's an emergency, I suggest you move along. Unless there's an emergency, I suggest you
I
move
blame Bill
along.
Taggart and his crew, stirring up all sorts of emotions. It's a shame. They come to town all high and mighty, turning decent people against each other.
This is not a good time to talk to anyone from DPD, sir. We have our hands full with this riot.
Take a walk, buddy. I'm not interested in what you have to say. I'm not interested in what you have to say.
Who sent you sniffing around? Get lost. I trust you just about as far as I could throw you.
I thought the police overreacted.
Yeah. As soon as that one guy threw the rock, the cops broke their perimeter and charged in.
Why didn't they just send a couple of guys to find them? It was like plotting for the crowd. That's what I was thinking. It just made the situation worse.
Night.
This is insane.
Unless this is an emergency, I suggest you keep moving. Go home, sir. You can't help here.
Don't interfere, sir. I will arrest you if I have. Everything seems to be under control in the convention center.
And Taggart?
He's on stage now. His protection is deep. Only those with VIP passes can get by the guards.
We'll just stay here and make sure none of those hooligans try to sneak in the back door. You can't get in unless you have a pass. The riots forced us to block off the meeting hall during the speech. The riots forced us to block off the meeting hall during the speech.
Can I help you, man? No one is allowed in the meeting hall. Too many loonies out.
Third time this escalator has broken down this week. You think they would actually work and not just sit there looking good. Damn good.
Tell me about it. Now with all the damage out there, I doubt we're gonna see any increase in funding anytime soon.
Looks like the only thing escalating are those damn riots. This whole city is going to shit.
Ah, hello. It is very commendable when someone like you shows interest in our work. I would try to explain it, but you obviously will not understand. I would try to explain it,
You think
but
they would
you
actually work
obviously
and
will
not
not
just sit there
understand.
looking good. Damn good. Looks like the only thing escalating are those damn riots. This whole city is going to shit.
Jensen. Don't know how welcome someone like you will be in here. Watch your step. Taggart's got some of his own handling security. Can't say I like the way they look, though. Taggart's got some of his own handling security. Can't say I like the way.
This is the end for your kind, Og. This riot will force the UN to adopt regulations. The more draconian, the better, I say. You should be kept locked up.
Bill?
Hey, are you able to get in to hear Taggart's speech?
Bill is really changing the world for the better.
Or changing it back to what it used to be? To before these people started poisoning their bodies? Or to use his words, their divine engines?
See, I have no problem with amputees wanting to get augmentations.
Especially our soldiers. That's the least they deserve after defending our country. Like Taggart's patient, Ezekiel.
Right. And what happened to Ezekiel? He got himself a new limb that sent him into a spiral of despair because of the drugs. Essentially, what Bill Taggart is asking is, do we really want to have a world filled with addicts being forced to pay exorbitant amounts of money to a bunch of corporate neuropozyne pushers?
I just don't get why certain people have this loony idea that augmentations will make the world better.
Well, as you can see by what's going on out there, they have a lot of work to do to convince the world.
I wish I could. He's my idol.
Bill is really changing the world for the better.
Or changing it back to what it used to be. To before these people started poisoning their bodies. Or to use his words, their divine engines.
See, I have no...
Hey, are you able to get in to hear Taggart's speech? I wish I could. He's my idol.
So what do you think of Bill Taggart? Do you know the story of Ezekiel? Do you know the story of Ezekiel? See, I have no problem with...
And do you know how he's going to influence legislation? How he's going to convince you this is really what you want? With fear! He's already started! Look outside, in our streets. Who do you think whipped up that frenzy? And I don't blame them, I blame people like Taggart. People who are constantly trying to divide us by our differences, instead of uniting us by our similarities. Listen, I've been a victim of this anti-Aug backlash. I was attacked simply for having been to a limb clinic. By people who were not augmented. People with an axe to grind. And do you know who saved me? An augmented man, a stranger! So you tell me where the real danger comes from. The
Get away, man! I don't want anyone seeing me talk to an
front.
Og. Not tonight.
A front for hate-mongering and William Taggart's irrational need
William
to keep
Taggart
us in the dark
is a
ages.
visionary. How can you not see that?
I'm not
He's
here
the
to tell you
protector
that
of the human
augmentations
race.
will make the world a better place.
Look who I'm trying to
here
convince.
to
Just
stand
can't
up for
subscribe
my
to
right
Taggart's
to be
Neanderthal opinions. It's like he thinks human development is a sin.
I can't believe there are still people out there with such backward mentalities.
This UN resolution he wants passed is persecution, plain and simple.
Agreed. He loves to claim over and over again what a peaceful organization Humanity Front is. But just look outside. In a non-direct way, he's promoting this kind of reaction.
Well, there have always been nuts like Taggart trying to stop human progress. By the end of the day, the human need to explore always wins out. He'll be a relic in no time.
I hope you're right. I'm just wondering when Hugh Darrow is going to come out of his shell and take a position. It seems like this whole resolution is on hold until he speaks up.
Hey, are you able to get in to hear Taggart's speech?
With
because I don't agree with you, miss.
I'm not getting hot. It just frustrates me how some of you pro-humanists act so superior. Like you have all the answers to every ethical question ever posed.
Well, who are you to think you can just turn yourself into robots, abuse drugs, and then think you can function freely in our society?
You and that asshole Taggart? Just try to take away my freedom and see what happens.
I've been a victim of this
Call still at his post.
Yeah. Backstage area is completely blocked off. Even the janitor can't get back there now.
What about the air vents?
You're kidding, right? Have you seen the size of those vents? You expect a contortionist or midget is going to try to assassinate Taggart?
Don't get smart. Got a pass? Okay, you're good. Just don't stand around, please. Okay, you're good. Just don't stand around.
Press conference is still going on. You're clear to go on in. You're clear to go on in.
Watch it, sir. There are guards everywhere. Any attempt on Mr. Taggart will be met with deadly force. Don't even make any sudden moves.
Human evolution is a fantasy, but that is exactly what I am telling you. As a world...
Where's your sidekick, Taggart? 6 months ago, Sarif Industries was attacked by mercenaries whose objective was to cripple our research. But I've learned the attack was just a smokescreen. Megan Reed's team was kidnapped, and Isaiah Sandoval, your personal aide, was involved.
That is ridiculous. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for Mr. Jensen's intrusion, and I assure you that these accusations are without basis.
Are they?
This is Sandoval. Why are you calling me here?
There's been a change of plans. Serif's team must not make it to the hearing.
But that's too soon. If you want me to remove the GPLs, I'll need a full operating suite. Does the facility have one?
That's your man, Taggart. Talking about removing implanted GPL devices so that the people who took Sarif scientists could cover it up.
I see what's going on here. Sarif Industries has received 2 black eyes in the last few days. The first, due to the shocking news coming out of Montreal that biotech companies are secretly participating in unethical super soldier experiments. And the second, as a result of their violent escalation of today's peaceful protest. David Sarif and his corporate bedfellows are desperate and in imminent danger of losing the regulation vote, so this man has been sent here to attack my reputation.
I'm right here, Taggart. Look at me. I admit, I wouldn't feel bad if your reputation was damaged in front of the press, since you've been doing the same to my colleagues for years, but that's not why I'm here. Sarif scientists are alive, and it's time for the truth to come out.
The truth, Mr. Jensen, is that this recording of yours proves nothing. It could have been made by anyone in the world with a grudge against Humanity Front, and you are our prime suspect.
You're right, it's not enough to get a conviction. But it's enough for a search warrant. That's all I want, Taggart. Why are you standing in the way?
I'm not. I'm trying to protect... Look, Mr. Jensen. If you play that recording for the police, at best, they'll dismiss it. At worst, they'll tell you to seek counseling. So, why are you really here? We all know you suffered a terrible tragedy in the attack on Sarif Industries. Why can't you put it behind you?
The reason I'm obsessed with the past, Taggart, is that there are still 5 people missing, and their attackers haven't paid for what they did. Your refusal to help me is getting in the way of justice.
Wait! I never meant to imply that I wasn't interested in seeing justice done. As you know, I was a practicing psychologist before I devoted my life to ending the threat of augmentation. And I've seen this kind of behavior before. You're confused. You consider me your enemy, and you think the only way you can regain control is to defeat me in some way. You're wrong, I'm afraid.
Of course I want control. Every time I touch something, I wonder, just for a second, every time, if what I'm feeling is real. It's a bit like being in charge of an organization, I bet. Do Do you always know what the people at Humanity Front, your people, are doing?
In my organization? Well, most of the time, I suppose. I founded Humanity Front to prevent others from suffering the way I suffered after an augmentation addict murdered my wife. I did it to reduce the amount of violence in this world, but you cannot understand such an approach. That's why you falsely claim my people are involved in terrorist acts. You're mistaken and you're lying.
I know about your wife's murder, Mr. Taggart, and how it led you to start Humanity Front. I've lost someone close to me too, but I have a chance to get her back. If Sandoval is involved in Megan's abduction in any way, he dishonored your wife's memory. For her sake, and for the sake of my people, I need to know where he is.
All right, Mr. Jensen. You're right. For Marjorie's sake, I can't risk tainting the integrity of what I built in her name. I'll help you find Isaias, and I pray that you are wrong about him. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize, but I'm going to have to beg your indulgence for a few moments more. If you will all please remain patient, I will return as soon as I can. Thank you. Mr. Jensen, I'll see you backstage.